A new chapter unfolds for you, and today marks your entry point into a totally new reality, especially around what your life on earth will look like as you embody this new version of self. I'm hearing as you anchor this vision into a part of your everyday lived experience. Today, specifically on the 26th of January, we have Neptune entering into the sign of Aries. You've already had a precursor of this energy during the summer of 2025, and this is a time where a chapter is now solidifying in the story of your life. We are moving from Neptune in Pisces, which is this disillusioned spiritual ocean that you've been moving through, where maybe you've been still waiting to gain clarity on I'm hearing the next sequence of events that's going to unfold, but today is the entry point of Neptune embarking on this new journey through the Aries archetype. And when we talk about the transformation of water, we're talking about the ocean, water evaporating and transforming into this steam, this ignition, this propulsion. And it's for the first time in 164 years that the collective unconscious is no longer drifting. Instead, it's waking up, it's standing, and it's consciously choosing a direction. This is happening in your own subjective journey, but it's also a collective theme that is playing out. So on a universal scale, especially in the astral plane, things are sharpening and illusions are beginning to burn up really, really fast. I'm seeing anything that no longer serves you is literally burning. And when we talk about fire burning, that is energy not being destroyed nor created, but transforming itself. Something is transforming in your reality. I'm actually seeing somebody take a back seat and witness, as if their life were a movie, reality literally reassemble itself. So when we think about the reassembly of something, I'm also hearing the assemblage point, which is a moment where the soul's expression really comes through the physical form. It's almost as if you've trained your organism to get to this point, to embody the expression of source while being seated inside of the matrix. So I'm hearing this is something that you've been cultivating from the inside out. And collective dreams now no longer become this fantasy. It becomes an active mission in your everyday lived experience. We're going to read this energy for you. Soul contracts are also going to activate during this time. You can think about this as an activation window, and timelines with passive waiting begin to collapse. This is where you step into that sovereignty. Right now, you're going to be called to actually, I'm hearing, embark on a new quest. It feels like this is literally a new quest unlocked. Maybe you're going to be meeting a character and that's going to unlock a quest and an ecosystem filled with timeline of experiences, opportunities, people, things that are going to assist the soul in excelling in this next, I'm hearing, hidden trajectory. So what you don't see is just how much of a direct turning point or plot twist this will be to your life story. Because I'm seeing somebody look back, like your future you is going to look back and be like, okay, that was the moment that changed everything for me. So right now, this is a mark being left in the historical timeline that's going to forever change the timeline in which you're going to be experiencing. So it marks this sense of like spiritual agency, where you're no longer this spectator, but instead you become this instrument, right? You become this instrument of possibility, or this finely tuned instrument. I'm hearing you finely tuned into a reality that is attuning to you. The universe shifts from this surrender and dissolve to this ignition, this action, and this conscious combustion that's happening, right? This is where something within you is really being lit up today. I'm hearing like a house on fire. Houses in the metaphysical realm represent something within you that is blazing. It's about the depiction of your soul manifested through form and the way that it chooses to express itself in the material plane. But it's also this destruction that's happening that is leading you into a new era. Okay, I'm hearing it's direct access point to a new era. So whatever feels like it's being destroyed is simply being rearranged right now. I'm also seeing the spherical motion where you're never losing your center, even if it seems like everything is moving and recalibrating around you. I'm seeing you literally be in the eye of the storm in your life. And that 0 point is going to really bring you to a place of harmony and peace, even amongst the chaos. It's like you're understanding the cosmic and secret order to what may appear to be disorderly. But yeah, the energies that are going to be moving through you are frequencies of literally internal pressure. That's something that you're going to feel in your body, you're going to feel it in your mind, in your auric field. And it's not anxiety. I do want to emphasize that, because this is anxiety is not fear of the new. It's simply fear of sometimes releasing the familiar. And you know that you're being called to this call for action, which feels like this, it feels like a charge or a voltage of some kind, where it's a sensation of, oh, I cannot wait anymore to initiate this. This is definitely a call for action. It's a moment where the truth is going to surge. Neptune dissolves the fog and Aries lights up this torch. So people feel raw, unfiltered, like truth is rushing into previously murky spaces. And because of this, we see identity reclamation. Aries literally rules the I am. Neptune spiritualizes it. So we feel our true soul identity rising, not personality, not ego, but our core essence coming to the surface. And this leads to boundary purification. People stop leaking their energy. Empaths, they stop overgiving, and psychics stop absorbing. Creatives reclaim their spark from places they had previously abandoned. And it leads to this mystic fire. There's this fusion of intuition and impulse that's guided by this higher sight that you have, and dreams that want embodiment, not symbolism. So let's talk about Neptune in Aries personified, this transit personified, just to give you a glimpse into the energy of this archetype and how she is, impacting us. This is going to be energy that's moving through us as organisms of consciousness, part of this solar system. It's all interconnected. And how she looks at first glance is you don't see her arrive, right? You'll feel this pressure before you see this form, because she appears as heat that's moving through the mists. Her eyes are, calm and extremely lucid and unwavering, not dreamy or aggressive. She has this piercing gaze, but in a quiet way, almost like she already knows something. And her hair is just, it's flowing, it's fluid, it's constantly moving. She doesn't sparkle, she radiates this readiness. Nothing about her is passive. So her presence is that you'll feel her in your chest, not the crown. It's this subtle tightening, a warming sensation, a sense of, I need to move. Her presence creates this internal pressure, focus without urgency, and courage without aggression, emotion without overwhelm. You don't feel inspired, but you do feel activated. She doesn't soothe, but she does align you. How her energy moves through humans is it works inside of the nervous system. In the body, you'll feel heat in the chest, your solar plexus being activated, this restlessness that wants direction, not escape. Your muscles could feel awake, even at rest, and a need to stand up straighter and breathe deeper. In the emotional field, this is old sadness that loses its grip. Your grief turns into this resolve. Your confusion turns into, I know enough to act. This emotional fog clears suddenly, not gently. In the mind, this is where mental loops break, overthinking collapses, and clarity arrives as movement, not thoughts. You stop asking why, and you start asking, well, what now? How she changes human behavior under this influence is, this is where people stop waiting for permission. You stop spiritualizing avoidance. You stop confusing sensitivity with fragility. Stop leaking energy into indecision. Instead, she activates bold conversations, clean endings, brave beginnings, honest self-definition. People may feel an urge to change their name, their brand, identity, or path in life, or speak a truth that they sat on for years, maybe move your body differently, but this is about claiming space unapologetically. How she feels emotionally is calm but unstoppable, quiet but commanding, focused, not frantic, and compassionate, not indulgent. No self-sacrifice, no savior complex. Only I see clearly. Let's move. What she burns away without force when she moves through the organism of consciousness, through the human, is the burning of spiritual identities that the ego may try to cling on around, I am this deity or I am this deity, and actually blocking themselves off from the infinite potential of you being all or nothing simultaneously. So there is this training of the organism to embody source and anchor that into the matrix. Also, this passive observer response in your reality around, I'm going to trust the universe, but then you take no action to ground certain things into reality, right? This is understanding that you're a sovereign creator, and it does require you to apply yourself in the physical to actually support these visions that you have. And any people pleasing that has been disguised with empathy, right, or waiting for external confirmation from anyone, or confusion mistaken for intuition. She doesn't attack any illusions, but she does outgrow them in you. When we talk about what she leaves behind after her energy moves through someone, you'll be left with this clear self-definition, also this stronger energetic boundary, a felt sense of direction, embodied intuition, and courage that feels natural and not forced. People don't feel changed after this transit, but they do feel like they've returned to themselves, because she literally says, well, you already know the way, now move. So let's see what it is that you may be called to actually move towards, and what you may be called to initiate in parts of your third dimensional reality. I've been having a lot of fun with the magic of the Gathering Oracle decks. They've been so so beautifully overlaid into these constructs that we're creating. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. What has Neptune and Aries energy got to say to this beautiful soul joining us today? Thank you. What's your first message? What is the archetype of embodiment? What are they being called to embody more of? Ooh, web of drama. Okay, so what you're being called to embody more of is not getting entangled within this system, because we have your true self. So essentially, the way that I see this is moving through this intricate web or design of the matrix, and your true self is the one that is untouched by time, unaffected by the events that occur along your space-time travel. So this is not getting attached to the characters, the stories that have played out, but consistently extracting the wisdom, deriving the wisdom, and I'm hearing the hidden gold upon what seems to be a leaden experience in your earthly journeys. So what you need more of is to not get entangled, right? I call all of your awareness back to yourself. I'm hearing at the end of every encounter, so that you have all of yourself anchored within your vessel, and you're not just scattered across this this matrix. It's sort of psychological operation that's designed to externalize your life force away from the immaterial plane and becoming entangled with the material, so much that you forget that you are an immaterial being, that you belong to the realm of the non-physical. This organism that you're training is actually an interface. It's an interface between the world of the physical and the non-physical, and you're always phasing between these different dimensional octaves of you. That's how I'm seeing it. We'll read this, but I definitely want to pull one more message around what it is that you're being called to evolve beyond. What are you being called to evolve beyond? We have two, tunnel vision and desire. Base nefesh instincts, essentially. So desire and tunnel vision is really, again, desiring finite, the finite instead of the infinite. This is about what it is that you'll bring with you after this lifetime. And I'm seeing this could be a legacy of some kind that you're leaving behind, but the legacy is not even in what it is that you create, what it is that you may be fixated on creating, but instead the impact and impression that you will leave marked upon this planet upon departure. Okay, I'm hearing long after you are no longer here in the physical. So let's see, it could be about the souls that you touch, the things that you create that will outlast you. Okay, something about outlasting you. You read the web of drama around what it is that you need to embody more of, right? Web of drama. The grand drama of life is everywhere, waiting to snare us in its tangled web. Is it possible to be in the drama and not be affected by it? To have compassion and to not lose your emotional balance takes vigilance. This is remembering your interconnectedness to all things. When you come back into that neutral, still observer, you are no longer affected, especially for as long as you would be had you not gained this higher perspective under your current circumstances. I keep hearing the saying, all cruelty springs from weakness. When I remember that, even the ways in which could be projected or received, you do not have to receive the projections of this realm, for it is merely an illusion. Come back and remember that it is an illusion. Okay, so first and foremost, make sure that you are a good and kind. Oh, I was reading the partnership, but a good and kind partner to yourself first. A hurt mind, not love, and be mindful of your thoughts and treat yourself with care. I started reading the partnership, but it's not by like coincidence. That is things that are supposed to coincide. So again, this is about the relationship that you're cultivating with yourself. What it is that you may feel like you need from someone else or the external, you're actually able to facilitate and become your own source of acceptance, become your own source of support, become your own source of compassion. Don't seek that externally, right? Become your own source of trust. This is about you embodying source while being grounded in this matrix. That means that you don't outsource your sense of guidance. You don't outsource your sense of acceptance. You don't outsource your sense of becoming a witness, right? This is about you witnessing your own growth. And I'm hearing the story that is unfolding before you because the story is unfolding from you. Whew, okay. If you're ensnared in the drama of others or your own drama, cut yourself free and get back to balance. You can't help a person by jumping in the pit with them. Wow, so this is about Dryad who is tricked by Phoenix and turned into a monstrous spider. So this is about trusting yourself, okay? Now, let's read your true self at the base because this is going to be a face. It usually talks about a mask. Right, how can we be our authentic self? Every day, there are many opportunities to show up as our true selves and speak from our hearts without any pretense. It takes courage not to parrot what the heart is bleating. Be a light to yourself. It reminds me of the saying of, what was it? There was something around, not all things that are light will look like light. Something doesn't have to look like light for it to be light. Meaning that every single organism of consciousness walking and roaming this planet is sourced from the same wisdom and learning to return to that wisdom once again. How can you hold space and be patient with yourself in order to hold space and become patient with others, especially in a way that they haven't learned to do or cultivate just yet? That's what it is to become a healer, because you've learned to heal and integrate for yourself. So wearing a mask can be a way that we can get things done. It can also be a way that we avoid things. While wearing a mask can grant us short-term gains, they're immediately satisfying. In the long term, we run the risk of building up a false persona or losing ourselves entirely. Change and get everyone to like you. The only issue with that is you may become a person that you do not like. You may become a version of self that you do not love if you seek for that externally. It's about the authentic self, being grounded, being rooted. There's something around this that's super interesting. There was a few other messages that were coming through. We'll see if they come back around. But the returned are those who have escaped the underworld to roam along the living as mindless automatons. So again, are you... It kind of reminds me, I don't know if anyone's seen the SpongeBob episode where he becomes square, like not square Bob, but he becomes like round Bob or something. Anyway, he gets rid of all his imperfections and the holes in the sponge that he is, and he starts dressing very mundanely and just like everyone else instead of his quirky self. And he ends up losing aspects of himself by painting him into what it is that he thinks people would find more pleasing in that process. So I'm just seeing it as know who you are, or the world will tell you. Right, let's take a look at what it is that you're removing right now. Desire. Because authenticity is blending your most multidimensional otherworldly aspects and utilizing this organism as an interface to express and share that with the physical world. Okay? How the soul wants to manifest itself through form, what the soul desires to manifest through form. Now we have desire and what it is you must release. Desire can move us forward or it can keep us anchored. It can inspire us or drive us mad. It is a fuel that should be used wisely. It can move us through fear and doubt. But if it's not watched closely, it becomes a wildfire. Sometimes it can be like trying to light a match under a wildfire. If you've become like a dragon that clings to the object of its desire and jealousy guards it, then make sure you wake up and free yourself from clinging, wanting, and needing. If you don't, you'll run the risk of your desire becoming a source of suffering. So this gives me, and this talks about beings that are basically fiercely territorial and full of greed. So what it is that is to be released with tunnel vision is basically getting fixated on what the mind thinks that it wants and believes that it does not have. When you come back into that neutral 0 point, you recognize that you have already accomplished everything, you have already experienced everything. You are now almost putting this limitation through space and time. And in this third dimension, we experience the illusion of separation between what we want and that outcome and where we are. Right? That's the construct that we use to measure the distance between two events that we call time in this construct. And what I'm seeing is when you remember that you have already accomplished it, you're under an illusion of separation from it. You walk with that desire and not towards that desire, because otherwise your current vibration is sending out a transmission of I want this thing that I do not have and I do not have it. Therefore, you're operating in lack and desperation, and you forget that you're an abundant being that has already accomplished this thing. It's a very different way to move with the desire compared towards a desire, because then you're outsourcing your state of being around if you do or do not accomplish this thing, I'll be happy when I attain that thing. Then your God becomes outsourcing your sense of happiness, because my emotional state is dependent upon this external factor. I cannot be at peace until, I cannot feel safe and secure until, I cannot find harmony within my current circumstances until. Do you see the issue with that? Then you're no longer even in resonance with that thing. It seems so far off. That becomes your God. So I'm hearing what is motivating you. Let's read Cyclops. The whole reason that we have the distance between two events is that you can experience the journey of those choices. Can you find beauty even within life's detours, right? Life is complex, and there are many ways to look at an issue. Our base instincts tend to make us see things only one way so that we survive. But we no longer are in the Stone Age. So in search of your own truth, let go of fear and keep your mind open and curious. When we remember that this experience is just that, it is to be experienced, it's not to possess, it's not to own anything, We allow ourselves to relax and release because we are no longer attaching to the material plane. We can be immersed in this system, we can enjoy the exploration in this system, but our internal state is not dependent upon these external factors. Otherwise, you enter into parasitic timelines where certain things will continuously be draining to you, especially mentally. Certain thoughts will actually drain you and your awareness because your awareness is not in your body. Your awareness is around that future event, right? That thing. Fear, hurt, anger, and strong desire, all capable of overwhelming our conscious, rational minds and can turn us into unconscious monsters. Watch out for powerful emotions that may make us zealous, destroyers of all other options, or idealists. Yeah, this is super interesting. Okay, that's what it is you need to embody more of, and that's to be released while we are in this new cosmic octave of Saturn, not Saturn dance in February, in January, Neptune in Aries. Let's get some more Cosmos Oracle messages for you. Cosmos Oracle. Okay, I guess we're gonna pull these then. Cosmos Oracle. What to embody more of? Protoplanetary disk. This system is designed for you to win. It's designed for you to experience the full range of human emotion as you embark on this quest, but also come back to that neutral state of harmony. Okay, I'm hearing, can you find harmony within the present? I'm hearing, can you find harmony within the beginning of the chapter, the beginning of the journey? So this talks about fertile conditions. You're in a place where something concrete, solid, with endless opportunities are brewing before you. That's what this says. Being in a place where planets are formed themselves and all the conditions are essentially in your favor. Now, when we talk about light curve talks about a changeable wave or something that changes its form. So something is changing. It's like your path is actually unfolding as you walk down it. Something beautiful is materializing into a reality as we speak. Let's take a look at what. So that's what you need more. Remember that you're in a conscious womb that is designed to support the soul's evolution. Dark nebula is what it is that you must release more of, which is a hiding cluster or patch of stars that can only be seen with a telescope, which is the lens of the soul. So this is a patch of stars that is hiding, okay, and you can't usually see it. So I'm seeing this as nebula can also be like confusion. All right, so what it is that you need to release is feeling confusion until, okay, this is what's coming through. The human never feels clarity until they see things play out in the physical. But can you embody that knowing and that clarity before the arrival in the physical? Simple as. Because we have quantum entanglement at the base, which is literally streams of awareness that you're pulling in where you have a gut instinct about that thing because it has already played out. It's a memory from your future self. Let's read Dark Nebula real quick. There could be another message in here. Dark Nebula talks about hiding the treasures of light, lack of clarity and understanding, dim and blurred visibility. There are nebulae of birth, light, and evolution. Cut off from light, the dark nebula is not linked to any stars. Can you allow yourself to get excited about the things in which you cannot see right now? That's what I would say. That should be the most exciting part, the things that you can't see, hence surprise, right? So it's not ionized, nor does it reflect the light of body. A dark nebula is simply a cloud of interstellar dust which does not shine or emit light. Through a telescope, it will appear as a dark patch of hiding stars. So through a telescope in this deck talks about looking at something from the lens of the soul to zoom in closer and gain a different perspective. So the soul already knows. There's something that the soul knows that the human has not experienced yet to play out in the physical, but that's the most exciting part. So what it is that you must release is the need to know all the answers, right? I feel like it's lean in and experience the mystery Let's go ahead and get a soul's journey because that's from this deck. The soul's journey. What does the soul need to hear? Perseverance. I know that I can do whatever I set my mind to. That's what it is that you need more of. Okay, let me go ahead and read the perseverance card for you. As a soul, you are on a mission in this physical dimension. You are the only one who knows the correct path to take. Your intuition, your connection to spirit, is your compass. You have the power to stay the course. You are stronger and more determined than you may first think. In order to experience many successes in life, you must mature and realize the strength within yourself and the quality of your inner courage. Life doesn't just happen, we must make it happen. Literally, Neptune and Aries. It is natural for us in this human school to shy away from what we believe to be difficult because we concern ourselves with how others will perceive us. We are afraid of failure or ridicule or coming up short. Now's the time to make this proper change and take risks, to do something you never thought that you could do before. Your soul must learn to become aware of its inner strength. Live the joyfulness your soul yearns for and engage in activities you have always wanted to try but were afraid that you'd fail at. Your soul would not yearn for something that you couldn't accomplish. You have the strength and fortitude to be capable of greatness. In a nutshell. Let's get Shaman's Dream Oracle message. In the hand, the universe is your partner. This basically talks about it's time to curl up in a warm blanket, put on a good film, and just give yourself grace. The universe is your partner in co-creation. And it says that there is a trust, there is a knowing that should bring you the sense of comfort, right? That is the depiction of the warm blanket. That is the depiction of allowing yourself to be held, knowing that you were safe, knowing that you were secure, you were stable, you were grounded. Remind yourself that. Speak to your vessel. Speak to this organism. Learn to work with this organism and all of its mechanisms. Okay? I'm hearing the mechanics of the human body. I'm hearing there are many different, how do I want to word this? Instruments that the spirit can move through. There are many, I don't want to say avatars. There are many different manifestations or vessels that spirit can play with. But to move through form, the human vessel in this universe and construct is one of the most complicated, diverse, and challenging realms to adjust to, just because there is so much density here that you can really lose yourself inside of this illusion, and it can be really easy to fall asleep. Okay, let's get a gateway of the light activation for you. You have Holy Grail, finding sacredness. You are what you seek. So again, it's about becoming your own source, okay? Your own source of emotional fulfillment, your own source of happiness. I'm going to pull 2 oracle messages for you as well, just for some advice on your next steps moving forth. Anxiety. The hardest part is over. This is about a storm that is already on its way out. And with that storm, it's already removed everything that just no longer serves you. Okay, there's something that is transforming. It could be even ways of thinking that don't serve you. It could be ways of feeling about your life on earth that again is not going to be highly conducive. So how can you create a highly conducive environment for the soul to experience itself through form, right? Think about your mind as a garden. Your thoughts are seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. And how can you create this highly conducive home that can nourish the soul, right? Come to the edge. Come to the edge is the only option you have if you want to be able to progress on your journey. I digress. Come to the edge essentially talks about your experience miracles that actually happen as you begin to lean into the unknown. It's the time to bet on yourself, take a risk, do that thing. I'm hearing that unforeseen thing, the thing in which you cannot see right now, and walk with that knowing, right? Walk by faith and not by sight, because faith, the definition of faith is faith. Faith is to be sure of what it is that you want and certain of what it is that you cannot see. And I used to say something, it's actually a quote. from the church. They said, faith. Faith. Let me see if I can remember. I used to say it all the time. Oh, faith is a verb. It's not a noun. So it does require follow through and action, right? So this requires follow through and action, even despite what it is that your physical eyes can see. Trust what the eyes of the soul can see with the telescope, okay? That's what, again, you're being called to lean into more. So I'm actually being called to pull one more message for you. Let's see. It's a very specific message from this deck, apparently. It wants to make itself known. Let's get one tarot. Multi-dimensional tarot from the Cosmos Visions deck. Advice. I keep hearing how you're showing up right now, or how you're being called to show up for yourself is your advice. Two of Swords. Two of Swords is an indecision that somebody is at in their life. And really, they're learning to trust their intuition, but they're also balancing that with their intellect, right? What are the logical next steps that I would need to actually honor my intuition in the way that I choose to navigate this next series of choices and the timelines that become accessible to me after each one of these choices, okay, is what I'm seeing. So Two of Swords is usually somebody waiting for some kind of information or communication to come their way to clarify and confirm what it is that they already know on a soul level, okay? So yeah, Two of Swords is your message. Trust the information when it reveals itself to you. It's almost like trust the transmission, trust the signal when it arrives. That's what I'm seeing. Trust this soft internal knowing, right? Let's read. Let's get the short definition. Two of Swords. In this deck, it says avoiding truth, approaching blindly. Now, with it, it came up reversed, right? So reversed is embracing reality, facing fear, lowering defenses, the lesser of two evils. This talks about you've been met with two bad decisions, but unfortunately you have to pick one. Face your fear and embrace reality. You can use your skill set to turn your choice into something better than what is perceived. The funny thing is, the two choices that you've been left with that seem to be apparently bad, especially for the ego, because we're talking about yang energy and the external and the physical and the mind, is you are surpassing. Okay, this is what it is. You've surpassed you've evolved beyond some type of comfort zone, right? So there is now discomfort that surpassed the comfort that you once had in that comfort zone. So you can stay in that reality, but there's this uneasy feeling that you'll have, right? There's this pressure with Neptune and Aries now. That water is wanting to transform itself. Nature is wanting to transform what it is it experiences in the physical and the external. So you can stay in that, and that's a bad choice. Bad, right? But then you also have this new thing, which is, okay, leaning into the unknown, taking that risk, doing that thing that I haven't done before in order to get to where it is that I want to go, requires me to do things that I haven't done before. That also feels equally uncomfortable sometimes, because they both encourage you to release something that is familiar to you, that leaves you now feeling unfulfilled, and lean into something that is unfamiliar, but is ultimately where that fulfillment lies. So both choices seem bad to the eyes of the soul and the human, but it is medicine. I mean, to the ego, but it's medicine for the soul. What feels like poison to the ego. The lesser of two evils. Yeah. So I'm gonna love and leave you right there. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, do consider subscribing, because we'd love to have you around. Have a beautiful entrance. Okay, I'm hearing a memorable entrance into this new cosmic octave. And yeah, I'll speak to you guys very soon. Check out Otter Spirit if you're looking for some high quality AAA graded jewelry. You have 2 discount codes found in the description box. $1 of the proceeds are donated towards Otter sanctuaries. You can see the Otter symbol there, logo. And yeah, personal reading details also down below. Until next time, bye.